Will Pierre Poilievre be an effective leader for the Conservative Party of Canada?
I love this one.
It's unlikely. The PC party just hasn't seemed to be able to get it together in the last while, and he's pretty far on the right side, so I think he's going to have a hard time bringing the party together. I hope he can, so that there's some degree of competition in the country, because right now there's none.
Have bled blue all my life, have voted up until the last election for the PC party, was not impressed last election with the PC party, so decided to go red. My father turned in his grave, I am sure, and now I am definitely undecided, but I'm still, Pierre is not doing it for me, so I think we got a lot more to learn from him, and so far it's a slippery slope for me.
Yes, he will be. He will be. I'm number one with that guy. That's why I'm wearing blue too. But no, I agree with everything that he's saying for the changes for Canada for the better. And I don't agree with the Trudeau tax as he puts it. So I feel that, you know, with new fresh face stepping in, and hopefully with the inflation rates, he's going to bring things down and make Canada what it was before the pandemic started.
There are things that Mr. Poilievre believes that I don't disagree with. I personally wouldn't consider myself a conservative, but we all want faster airports. You know what I mean? We all want to be able to get to the places that we want to go quicker, so public transit needs to be improved. But I don't think that you can have good policies and have those same policies wrapped in xenophobia and racism, and I'm going to vote for you. So he might be a good leader for whatever it is that the Conservative Party wants to become in the future, but that's not my party, and that's not a party that I would vote for.
I think he will be. So far, I'm liking his platform and what has already changed since he's become the leader. So I'm thinking this is going to be a good thing. It's a little too early to see exactly how it's going to affect us, but I think it's going to be a good thing.
I can't do any worse than his previous candidate. So I like the way he takes on a challenge with the Liberals. He's a bit of a fighter, I think. So I think he'll be a good candidate.
I think he would for that party. Whether he becomes prime minister or not is another thing, but I think he would be an effective leader for that party.
He certainly can pull a message together. He's certainly able to drive an agenda and galvanize his party. I think he won, 70% of the vote. So he seems to be an effective person for that. When it comes to persuading the country and running the country, I think there's a lot more to be seen.
He might be. I might be the wrong person to ask. I've only moved back to Canada a couple of years ago, so certainly there's a lot of negative portrayal of him in terms of equating him to Trump and all the rest of it. And I came from the States for the last 20 years, so I don't want anything near that happening here. But to be honest, I don't know enough about Pierre to truly have a well-rounded answer for that one.
I'm not a fan of his. I'm not really a fan of any leader at the moment, but he's at the bottom of my list right now, for sure. And just from things what I've looked at his past. I'm not huge on career politicians anyways, but yes. Now I know family that really supports him. Not in our home, but there's families that support him. I'm not generally a PC person, so yeah.
Gotta be politically correct, I guess. PC for the PCs, absolutely not. No. He goes in and he represents a fringe base, which is he's basically picking up on the Trump leftovers, the QAnon. You know, he's basically hidden that group, the PPC group, which seemed to support him more.
He is creating unity through division. He's creating unity on one side by prying those levers farther and farther apart. So effective in terms of whipping people into an angry frenzy and getting them all to march in the same direction? Sure. But I think leadership, especially in Canada, needs to be about doing the right thing for people, even if they don't align with your values. Being a leader for all Canadians, not just your base. And I think he is not going to be effective at that. And he has proven for his entire career that he's not effective at that. So, again, it depends how you define leadership, but the way I define leadership, no, he's not going to be an effective leader.
You know, I think that Poilievre, he excels at fomenting fear, anger, and unrest. I think if that is what the foundation of the Conservative Party in Canada has become, then yes, he absolutely will. I like to think, however, that as one of our two sort of fundamental parties in Canada, he needs to speak to people beyond his small core of supporters. And I don't see any evidence of him respecting the rest of Canada and being an effective leader for people who don't necessarily agree with absolutely everything he says and believes in. So no, I don't think that he will be an effective leader.
He just doesn't have, I don't think he has the demeanor for it. He seems to be a smart man, but he just doesn't seem to be applying that intelligence to where it really matters. It's just cause du jour, you know, and I haven't heard anything come out of him yet that it's like, yeah, that's a good idea.
I am optimistic that it'll be better than the current situation. I think we'll just have to wait and see. Everyone always has a lot more promises than what they actually do, so yeah, waiting game.
From my knowledge and what I've seen, like I haven't looked into it much, but he seems like a really strong leader. He knows what he's talking about and isn't afraid to like say something that's going to cause like opposition and uproar. So he seems like a strong leader and what Conservative Party might need.